All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Awakened Happiness Now Global Series. Thank you so much for being here with us today. If you're new to me, and I realize I never say who I am in all these years, I never say who I am. If you're new to me, shefaliburns, new to my channel on YouTube, please do subscribe so you can take advantage of all the current shows, all the previous shows, all the shows coming up. It is my deepest wish, desire, and intention to bring to you these amazing, wonderful speakers who are sharing their wisdom, their teachings, their experiences, their processes, their healings, their meditations, their guidance, etc., so that we can all thrive, so that we can all awaken to happiness now. And so today, my dear friend JoAnne Palladino is back with us, and I'm saying back, kind of like first time back. It's been a long time, 10 years, I
Yeah,
think, maybe even. So she's
been a
back with us,
while.
and we're going to be talking about love, sacred medicine during turbulent times. And some of what we're going to talk about today is what's love got to do with it? Everything. Why the state of our consciousness matters. It's essential for change to happen. Where are you placing your attention? Distractions, triggers, and the shadow. Oh my, right? Always. The sacred pause, we're going to talk about that. The master observer, what that is. Your significance is essential now. So that is so important. So, just a little bit about JoAnne before we get started. Like I said, she was with us way back when in 2015. And so she's back with us now. JoAnne has been extending her divinely guided gifts through the United States and internationally for over 20 years. As a seasoned consciousness guide, she is honored to bring the high frequency of love and grace to our planet at this pivotal time. Her intention is to guide others to live from their hearts, embody their true essence, and create the shift to unity consciousness. It all begins with complete and unconditional love and self acceptance. And so during this lifetime, JoAnne has been referred to as a Wayshower, Lightworker, energy healer, Reiki Master teacher, intuitive, guru, shaman, and spiritual guide. She sees herself simply as a light language channel for Shmaya. And
Mm.
if we view this gift on the personality level, it is truly extraordinary. Yet, from JoAnne's true self perspective, it is ordinary and is expressed as the voice of God. So, everyone, please join me in welcoming JoAnne back to the show. JoAnne, welcome.
Thank you. My goodness, I don't know why that made me cry, but it did. I feel like it was the ordinary. We're all extraordinary and ordinary at the same time, and the labels we tend to put after our names and what we think we are and who we are. Um, we're all walking together. So it's beautiful to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And, we are going to be taking some live caller questions in a little while. We are going to be doing a meditation guided ceremony as well at the beginning. But before that, JoAnne, if you can just share a little bit about your journey. Like I said, since it's been a long time, things have changed so much in our lives. If you want to just share a little bit about who you are, your journey, a little bit about Shemaya, that would be really helpful for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the shift started, it seems like a lifetime ago. Um, so when I look back, I was like, oh my gosh, that was my life, and I can't relate to it anymore. And it was a corporate life and climbing the ladder of the success, what we identify as success. And that was very important to me because I wanted to be seen and recognized. And I wanted to hear a lot of that of girls, that a girl, you did it. Um, but in 97, again, it feels like a lifetime ago, it was really a tipping point for me on this journey. Prior to that, I was not plugged into the metaphysical life, healthy food, healthy lifestyle. It was, like I said, in the corporate world, climbing the ladder, very stressful, eating on the run. And that was my life. And actually, I really enjoyed and loved what I was doing. I was the sales administrator and marketing director for a nationally known healthcare company for the Northeast. So it was that kind of life. And then in 97, I describe it as I guess, my first awakening. And I went through this process where, again, I label of like it was a full body breakdown. And I had to leave for 4 months. I had to go on a medical leave. And in that process, um, who I thought I was and what I felt was important really began to fall apart. It was, I couldn't eat, sleep, think, anything. And that was my awakening. That was my tipping point, to open up to, I'm saying the metaphysical world, but spirit, to God, to live differently and engage in life differently. I did go back to work after 4 months, and I started going back part-time, and then I went full-time. And my responsibility was to support the sales efforts in the Northeast for this company. So lots of meetings. There were numerous departments underneath my management that I had to guide. And what was happening was when I went to these meetings and I left the meeting, I was like, oh my goodness, what did they just say? What do I have to do? And what I began to realize is my soul was no longer connecting to what used to nourish me and actually depleted me. So after a while, not long after, when I went back full time, I chose to leave the corporate world as a very successful. I was successful in that journey, and I left really not knowing what to do. So I took a year off. But in that year is when, um, it started where I felt energy coming from my hands and, things like that. And somebody said, oh, did you ever hear of Reiki? And I'm like, no, what is that? And then I got into yoga, and that became my first spiritual practice. So that's really how it began to open up. And through the years, I've had numerous awakenings, and every time I go through it, and it's always quite bumpy for me. I don't go through a smooth sailing awakening, and I don't know if any of us do, but mine is usually very bumpy and challenging. But when I come out of them, gifts began to appear, like there were new gifts. And not that I haven't been trained in many things, but really what I extend now is not necessarily from my training, but through my, awakenings. Um, then in, I think it was 2011, is when, again, this freaked me out because I didn't know what the heck was going on. And the light language started coming through spontaneously. I thought I was a crazy person. Like, what am I saying? What's going on? I don't have any control of this, all of that. And during the transmissions, and that's how I'll describe it, during the transmissions that were coming through, and I didn't realize that's what it was then either, I kept saying Shmaya. That just kept coming out, in these spontaneous um, light language expressions. And one night, it was my husband and I and another couple. And when the light language started, I always felt like really odd. And I'm like, uh-oh, here it comes. Because there was no control. It kind of took over me. It took over my body. And so there I go. The light language started. And again, Shemaiah kept coming through the word. And after it subsided, it kind of put me in a trance, and I'm not in a trance anymore when I speak the light language. My husband said, I know that word. I know the meaning of Shemaiah. So I'm like, what is it? And this always touches me. That Shemaiah is an ancient Aramaic word. And the Shem part of Shmaya means God, light, vibration. Maya, the Shmaya part, means that God, light, vibration is in everything, everyone, and in every word. So in essence, we are all Shmaya. And Shmaya is spoken through Yeshua, through the Lord's Prayer, through the Beatitudes, through uh, St. Thomas's, Gospels. The word is everywhere. So the Shmaya is God light vibration in everything, everyone, and in every word. So that's how Shmaya, it's not a thing. It is truly the voice of God. I also have felt this through the years. Somebody's calling from the other side. I'll wait until it completes. Is that on my end, do you think? Oh
Yeah,
my.
it's on your end. We're not hearing it.
I apologize. I don't
It's
know
okay.
what or why. And I had everything turned off, so I don't understand. But
That's
anyway,
okay.
life happens, right? Life
Exactly.
happens.
Yeah.
Life
Yeah.
happens. Um, so I'm not sure where I was because I'm just,
But that's beautiful talking about
yeah,
Shemaiah
yeah.
as the
The
God
voice of
light.
God. Yes, thank you. So really what I have felt anyway, it's my original voice. It's my original expression. And, we all have that voice in us, the light language voice, our original voice. And I'll just touch on one other thing. When we start the meditation, usually meditations happen at the end. I was really called to do it in the beginning, as I was being with our gathering together. So when Shemaiah comes through, and I'm sure most, if not all of you have experienced light language, that it's more about receiving the vibrational quality of the transmission and not to be in the head to question what's being said. Why does it sound like that? Have kind of get away from truly receiving the vibrational quality that is being extended. So that is something that I'll put out there when Shemaiah, when the expression comes through.
Beautiful. Awesome. I
Yeah.
love it. Thank you. And thank you
Yeah.
for sharing about Shemaiah and your whole journey with your awakening. So that's and it's something I think more and more people need to hear because people think that it's all ease and flow and it's not. When you have these awakenings, it can sometimes be quite disruptive and a little challenging on the body and life, right? Because everything changes. So thank you for sharing that. So I know we're going
Yeah.
to. So let's do the let's do the sacred ceremony first. We'll do that. Get all settled and grounded and present with that, and then we'll continue our conversation. How's that?
Beautiful. Beautiful. So in the description for our gathering today, I asked if everyone could bring a candle and a glass of water. And if you don't have that, that is absolutely fine. But the idea here is especially that, we're going to be talking about and trusting experience the essence of love. And love is on such a spectrum. And I thought if we can settle in together as a collective consciousness from our hearts to really set the foundation for our time together. So if you do have a candle, which I did remember mine, please light it at this time. And if you're able to keep it lit for the whole gathering. And I see this and feel this as setting a sacred space, not only where you are located, in your room, in your house, alone with others, setting a sacred space. And also setting a sacred space as we commune together today, one heart and one mind. The other piece is if you did have a glass of water, which I remembered mine as well, holding it up. And water holds our frequency. We know that. So there are words I'm going to ask you to speak into your water. So closing your eyes and settling. And the words are, I am love. I am loving. I am lovable forever. I am love. I am loving. I am lovable forever. Allow the words, the vibration of the words to settle into your water and drink from the sacred cup. And as you drink from the sacred cup throughout our time together today and throughout the day, you are taking in on a cellular level, I am love, I am loving, I am lovable forever. So let us close our eyes. Enjoying the sacred space where you are, enjoying the sacred community that we're in right now, dropping into your heart, not the physical heart, but the essence of the truth of what the heart represents, the sacred heart. Envision that we are in a holographic circle, extending the energy from your heart into the center of the circle. Dropping it down to sacred Mother Earth, to the core center, and up beyond. That we are not only connected in the unified field together, but of all of humanity. La alam, amin, amen. Just resting there for a moment. Notice how the body feels. Perhaps a shift since we started. Feeling that vibration. And as you drink the water, know that you are love, you are loving, and you are lovable forever. And we are complete.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it brings a quality of serenity um, into the space, serenity and stillness.
Yes. You know, there's, we come to gatherings like this because we want information. We want to know more. We want to gather of, you know, how can I make my life better? But my intention today is to support you in feeling, really touching and connecting with the feeling of the essence of love. And we know that's on a spectrum. And I think the first bullet was, what's love got to do with it? And it's like everything. It has everything, to do with it. And the spectrum of love that I'm speaking of, there's the egoic personality perspective of love. And then there's the true essence of where we were created from that, the essence, what's not necessarily tangible, but fills every cell in our being of love, the true self of love. So today when I was with the topic, I was like, it's amazing what we do to get love. We put a lot of energy into that. That's how I pretty much grew up. How can I get love? We have this longing for love, a desire for love. We want to be loved. And we, again, go to all kinds of lengths to make it happen. We become a people pleaser. We put ourselves out there and please everyone. And because if I do this and do that, and oh, if I help them here, they're going to love me. It's many times that we do things that to get love that hurt us dearly. And we continue to do it because we have this longing deep within us to be loved. And we hurt ourselves in the midst of it. The essence of true love that I speak of, and I'm going to read it to you. And this is, again, a definition, but maybe as I read it, you can feel the quality of what is being shared. And this is from The Way of Mastery, which is a channeled book, and it's Yeshua's teachings. And you probably have heard these words before. And as I'm reading them, you may want to close your eyes and take it in from the heart and allow your inner child to hear them, because that's the part of you that is truly wants to be loved and to be seen and to be heard unconditionally, with no conditions, because our ego, we put a lot of conditions on love. If you do this, I'll love you. And if you don't do this, that's another story. And we've all experienced that. So take these words in. Love embraces all things. All things. Even the things that we feel are not deserving of love. Love allows all things, trusts all things, and thereby transcends all things. Again, taking in the message and the word of love, the energy, the frequency of love. Love is never possessive. Love is never fearful. Love is simply love. Love can only be welcomed where love truly resides. And love resides within you as the very core and the source of your being. It is not to seek and find love, boy, do we spend lifetimes in that energy, going outside of ourselves, seeking it. Love is not to seek and find love. It is merely to turn within to discover every obstacle that you have created to its presence. To me, that last sentence says it all. I'm going to just read it again. It is not to seek and find love. It is merely to turn within to discover every obstacle that you have created to its presence for you to fully realize the essence of love. And just be with that for a moment. And if anyone wants to share, what do you do or say or believe that is keeping you from fully realizing the essence of love? Just think about it for a moment. Perhaps not speaking your truth. Perhaps not setting boundaries for yourself. Perhaps extending your energy a bit too much and you become completely exhausted. You do things because you're supposed to. It's my responsibility. How can I not? And then you feel resentful. It's amazing what we do without even thinking of it. We just are continuing to do life. But all of those engagements in life that you do are truly blocking love itself. Love is on a spectrum. And what I mean by that is, again, looking at the humanness, I love my shoes, that kind of thing. I love the trip I took to Italy. I love the concert that I went to. I love my dog. Boy, is that great love. Your child, your spouse. So there's such a spectrum there, And I, the conditional love, that's what us humans do. We put conditions on them, on love, what we'll love in a person. But years ago, and it was family, it was that I made a choice in my life. This is almost 30 years ago. I don't know, it's a while ago, maybe 25 years ago. And some of the family did not agree with my choice. And the choice that I made was actually based in love, but they didn't like it. They didn't agree with it. And they disowned me for a period of time. There was a condition. JoAnne, we don't like what you chose to do, even if you think it's love, and we're disowning you. That hit home because I'm like, wait a minute, don't you love me? No, not now. So the true love that I speak of, the one that we're created from, it's all love. It's all love. There isn't conditions. And we go through this with incredible hurt and abandonment. But for me, it was an extreme soul evolution, growth. Because what I kept doing is putting my heart out there to these relatives. And they kept, like the image that I saw was, it was a plate. My heart was on the plate and they kept pounding it. But I kept going in because I love them. How can they not love me? Because of this choice I made. And one day, something shifted in me. And it was about complete and unconditional love and self-acceptance for myself. And I shared with them, when you are ready, I am here. And I pulled myself out of that energy because there was a level of damage it was giving me. And no matter what I did, they kept pounding on it. So I saved myself from that. I pulled away and I wasn't resentful. It's interesting. I wasn't angry with them, but it heightened the love for myself and pulled me out of that situation. Eventually, what happened? They knocked on my door. And there was forgiveness. There was a lot of forgiveness was in this as well. So it's, where are you in your life? Where is love in your life? What spectrum are you on? What part of the spectrum? And just being aware of that can support how you can shift that. What's love got to do with it? Everything, no matter what it is, no matter. There's a piece here too that I want to share is love can be expressed in different ways. Simply being kind is love. Extending blessings is love. Residing in the state of grace is love. Being witness to suffering, oh my goodness, that's such a big one, is love. That one made me cry because how much suffering is out there. Just holding space for someone is incredible love. So how's everyone feeling? I just want to get a sense here of what's showing up for everyone. And
Yeah, it's definitely something to look at for ourselves, right? Where in our lives are we not willing to receive love or just be love or be in the presence of love, right? So you talked about boundaries, but it's also about what obstacles and walls have we put around us so that we can't even perceive the love that's there.
yeah,
And it's always about choosing what's right for us from our heart space, from that place of loving ourselves. I also did something years ago where there was like nobody was on my side. Not one person was on my side. Everybody was against my choice. But if for me, I was choosing love for me and of me in that moment. Eventually they all came around.
yeah,
But we do have to choose for ourselves and what's important for ourselves and what is right for us. And only we can know that. Nobody else can tell us that. And that's from the place of stillness within.
yeah. Yeah, thank you for that. I feel, and this is really what the foundation of when I work with souls, people like yourselves. is really setting a foundation for complete and unconditional love and self-acceptance. If we were truly living from that space, we would be living our personal lives a lot differently, but how it would affect the collective. And I grew up like, what are you talking about, self-love? What? That wasn't even like, what's that? It's always outward, outward. But if we can teach our children as soon as they come out of the womb and go and begin the presence of self-love and being a model for that for current generations, for our relatives, our friends, our strangers, it's for me, it's really fundamental to have a shift within yourself, because we do so many things. I mean, the obstacle, I think the big one is self-criticism, which in itself is a victim perpetrator energy. You know, you're the victim of your own nasty thoughts that you give to yourself. Like you mentioned, you know, not being worthy, not being smart enough. I don't like my body. They're prettier than me. How come they have more money? I'm not, you know, it's this incredible dialogue that keeps us, that keeps us from the presence of love. And we could weave love, like I mentioned a little bit ago, in the simplest ways. If you're in a coffee shop or standing online in a grocery store and connecting with strangers, and just extend blessings. Just extend blessings with the intention. Like, to me, there's such a beauty, you know, with that. Such a beauty. So, any thoughts or questions? Otherwise,
Can you see the chat, JoAnne?
I see the chat, but it's kind of distracting for me to look at it and kind of keep in
Okay.
my
Yeah. There was just some comments in the chat about what we've
yes,
been talking about. So just wanted
beautiful.
to make sure you knew about that.
Yeah.
And so now let's talk about our state of our consciousness matters, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. You know,
Oh
that's
boy.
this is going to be another big topic for sure.
Yeah. So Einstein, and you know, you may have heard this quote of his: you cannot solve your problems with the same thinking or consciousness that you used to create it. When I heard that years ago, I was like, oh my God, yes. So being with that, everything arises from consciousness. Your thoughts, your words, your beliefs, your actions, it arises from that. So pointing to this, to heighten your awareness of the word, just even if we just look at the words that you use. There's an example of we're going to fight cancer. That's a big one. We're going to fight it. I'm with that. It's like, I don't want to fight anything. To me, that's resistance. Excuse me. And you're pushing up against what you don't want. Is there another way to be with the disease, no matter what it is, the dis-ease, in a different way, really shifting the paradigm. And the words that you use has an energetic quality. You're putting that energetic quality out there. So for me, I tend to be as mindful as possible. I still work on it every day. To be with the words that I choose to express whatever it is, however I want to communicate. Because again, and also my intention behind the words. This is a way of love. It really has shifted my way of even thinking. Like where, like why am I using this word to describe something that has a heaviness, to it? So this is dropping the pebble into your consciousness pond that takes a depth and a breath to just stop. And I'm going to talk about the sacred pause. Have that sacred pause to say, what do I want to say to this person? How do I want to say it? What will be my energy behind what I want to communicate with them, especially if there's a confrontation going on. You don't want to put fuel on the fire necessarily, but you want to speak your truth, your empowerment on how you want to engage, with this person. What shifted for me was years ago, probably 15-ish or more. And it was through The Way of Mastery, the channel book by Yeshua. The big one, and it's the weekend. Forgive them, they know not what they do. As he's being nailed to the cross. Forgive them, they know not what they do. For me, forgive my father for how he shut me out when he died. And that's true. Forgive them for what they did to me, whatever level that is. And we have, on the egoic sense, we have this, how can I forgive them and how much that hurt me, damaged me, again, whatever it was. And I had a hard time about forgiveness. But Yeshua's teaching, and again, this is when it took hold, like I embodied the teaching. It was about forgiving the level of consciousness of the person who put that act onto you, made you were the victim of whatever they did. It wasn't forgiving the act, words, whatever, itself. When that took hold, it like changed my life. It was like a ripple for me. So bless my father, my real father. he wasn't speaking to me when he died, no matter what I did. And he died. And the evening, it was very early in the morning when he died, his soul came to me and our souls danced. It was remarkable. His soul gifted me forgiveness. That's what it was about. And he passed. It'll be 15 years, I think, this year. I could have looked at this completely different and resented and hated and never forgave him and this anger and how could he? Because he wouldn't speak to his daughter. But when our souls dance together, it was truly an experience that there are no words for it. And I was in the mountains on a retreat. My husband and I were facilitating a week-long retreat. It was really dark. It was in the mountains, but everything was light. So his soul gifted me the truth about forgiveness. That was a shift, a huge shift in consciousness. So I view life when someone does something to me. I recognize their pain. We're all in pain on some level. And I forgive them. And I don't take on their projection, if you will. I forgive them. I love them. I'm free. And maybe that disconnection makes them free as well. So I'll pause there for a moment. Yeah.
Are they not responsible for their state of consciousness, their level of consciousness?
We all are. Yeah, we all are. Forgive them. They know not what they do.
Yeah. I love that phrase or saying as
Oh,
well.
yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's
But then there
beautiful.
are moments when I'm like, well, I mean, can we really, it's kind of like, it's kind of like an excuse. That was their level of consciousness. That was their state of consciousness. So it's like, it's kind of like giving them a free pass almost.
Yeah, I see it as just recognizing what is
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not feeling it should be any different. It's in a way it's like us not for me, not
Yeah.
resisting what is. And with my father and and he is my parents were my first spiritual teachers. I realized that years ago. It was like, oh my God, mom and dad, they're fabulous spiritual teachers. But there's a lot of pain, and that's what I was witnessing, like being the witness of that. I didn't know it at the
Mm,
time when I was younger and a young adult, because my wake
right.
up was late in life. It was my 40s is when I like woke up.
Yeah.
Um, so it's not I'm giving you a free pass, but seeing where you are and not having anger towards it, but sending you love, extending love and blessings to you. And may
Yeah.
the healing be realized, through this.
And it frees us of that energy that we've been holding on to.
Yeah, it's talk about um not feeding self-love is holding on to that resentment.
Yeah.
It's poison. It's
Yeah.
poison.
Absolutely.
And I feel truly blessed because if I chose consciously a different way, it would not serve me at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Absolutely. It's not an easy lesson to learn, to be honest.
It's
But
it's a
when,
tough one. It was, when he got sick, it was 2010. I got the message that he was going to die that year. I'm from New York, so my family was in New York. I live in Colorado, and I kept hearing, Papa Joe, he's gonna go this year. So I said, all right, I'm gonna go home for Father's Day, and because I know it's going to be his last Father's Day, and I did. I went home for 2 weeks, and the first day was beautiful. The second day was not so beautiful. And he and I, his patriarch and my dark feminine collided. And that's the day he stopped talking to me. And it was, when's Father's Day? In June? I think June is Father's Day.
Yeah.
He died in September of that year. I did whatever I could to resolve that conflict, but no way. Sent letters, phone calls. Should I go back to New York and visit him? And I sat with that question and I kept hearing, and I asked my angels, okay, guides, angels, should I go back? No, they kept telling me. And I'm like, really? And I listened. I listened not to go back. And I feel there was truly a soul lesson for his soul and my soul to embody a level of truth around forgiveness.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Just powerful. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So,
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about the sacred pause,
Yes.
which I
Yeah.
think is really important. And I believe, for myself, the sacred pause is for me when things are happening on the inside, and the sacred pause is when I'm finally willing to be still and quiet and just surrender to what is. And then whatever happens on the outside is going to be, it's like, it doesn't even matter. But the inside, having that pause, is my communion with the divine during that sacred pause.
Yeah. Well, this practice changed my life. It was another tipping point for me, and I have been practicing this and teaching and guiding my clients with this practice that I call the sacred pause. And it truly has helped me navigate through turbulent times, whether it's family, with myself, with the world, all of the above. So, how I see the sacred pause, and we didn't touch on distractions, but we're distracted, we get triggered, we have our shadows, and usually those things keep us away from truly what we should be paying attention to. you know, like what do we do when we get triggered? I don't know. Clean, drink, get busy. Who knows? So, how I engaged in this and the image I see, it's kind of interesting. The old switchboard, where you plug in the operators like plugged in, and it helps me unplug, not not like in an unconscious way, but a conscious way, unplug, pulling myself back and become the conscious observer of what's going on, just kind of viewing it, which brings me back to myself. This to me, this is really key in shifting one's consciousness. So the steps I take, and I do this throughout my day, every day. It's like it has become a way of life for me. Something triggers me, and there's plenty to trigger you these days. It seems like those are on steroids. Something triggers me. I feel it because my body is my messenger. Like I feel a tightness, and I just sit back for a moment and I take a breath. Sacred pause. You begin to breathe in a conscious way. And just notice how the body's feeling, where it's contracted. This can help raise some self-inquiry questions, you know. Now, I do this quickly. It's not that I take a long process. Again, it's kind of part of my life. But as I'm teaching this, I kind of do it step by step so it deepens for people. And when you pull out of the distractions, it helps you more to come back into the present moment. Because when you're distracted or triggered or doing your best to keep your shadow in the closet, you're not in the present moment. You're somewhere else, just kind of let me get through this. What can I do? You know, kind of thing. The sacred pause also begins to settle your mind. So you're able to think clearly. It does wonders for the nervous system. It starts calming you down, again, because you've taken yourself out of things that are feeling very contracted. Like this tightness, the anxiety kind of ramps up. And you could begin to get in touch with your body. And when you're with the sacred breath, as you mentioned, you begin to reside in your body, to touch the still point, the essence, the Christed one within. This is self-love. To me, it has, I mean, it truly changed my life when I started practicing this, and now it's just become kind of how I live. You know, it's kind of how I live. It brings you, and I'm kind of going through this quickly, but it brings you to a state of inner knowing. Again, you're getting away from the intellectual, egoic, I don't like that, kind of feeling. You begin to drop in and nourish and cultivate that inner knowing. And that's when you become informed from that aspect, from love, from heart, no longer in the fearful, this world is a crazy place right now. It is my sacred medicine. I see this as all sacred. You know, I really do not. Yes, it's a mindful practice, but for me, it has expanded my presence to be able to move through turbulent times that we're in right now. And I'm just going to bring in, this is where the master observer, the aware one, is viewing your inner world and the outer world in a state of compassion and wisdom, not egoic stories. So what's love got to do with it? Everything. Everything. The master observer allows you to make choices that serve your well-being, that feed you self-love, that allows you to set boundaries. It's okay to say no, to not only understand yourself better, but understand your brother and sister out there. And understand that there's level of suffering going on within everyone. And when people, and I'm saying this from experience, not just telling a story, my experience, and I'm sure we all have had them, but realizing the pain and suffering that they are in is causing them to act and say what they're doing and saying. So to me, it's invaluable because it has enlivened a deeper wisdom in me and an inner peace in me in the midst of crazy, unbelievable of what's, we're like, what? It's like, where do we go to? Where do we go to when when things get really turbulent? I'm not going outside of myself. I'm going inward and cultivating that beautiful sense of stillness and peace, and be able to respond, engage, or not, in a way that's compassionate with wisdom, that is going to be your holistic medicine, if you will. If you will. Yeah. So just notice how you're feeling. How's the body feeling? What thoughts might be arising? I don't know if it's the time to ask questions, answer questions. It's whatever feels right for you.
If somebody has any questions for JoAnne, you want to type in the chat, or you can raise your hand and ask a question and around this huge topic.
Yeah, I think we could do this again and get into some nitty gritty here, but
yeah, this is just a overview, I guess you could say, because this is such a huge topic.
it is. Yeah.
So you can type your question in the chat, or you can raise your hand. In the meantime, why don't we take this time, JoAnne, just to talk about the package, and then we'll come back and see if there's any questions, okay?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So let me share my screen. Right, so I'm sharing my screen. You should be able to see it. So JoAnne has 3 packages available. So I'm gonna let JoAnne talk about them. So package A is a 30-minute one-on-one session with JoAnne for $53. So JoAnne, what can people expect in that 30-minute session with you?
This, I call it laser focused, where you come into the space, we'll set a sacred space like we did today, so you could settle in, coming in with a specific question, an area of your life where you're challenged, have a deeper understanding of an awareness. So that's what we would focus on, if you will. The time goes quickly, so this is why I call it laser focus, coming in with a specific intention, specific question, and ultimately the purpose is to bring a level of clarity to you that you could move forward in a more mindful way to serve your well-being on different levels, with the potential of it actually taking hold and being embodied. So that is the 30-minute one-on-one, and it would be done by Zoom.
Yep, awesome. And then package B is $88, and it's a 70-minute one-on-one session. So how is this one different than the first one?
Yeah, this is a bit more expansive, working on the various levels of the mental clarity and the balance in the emotions, and helping to, any tightness in the body, things like that. And we'll touch on various things where not only engaging in what you come to the session with, but energy work will be involved here. Mindfulness practices will be, um, um, guided through it. Shmaya will be very present. Shmaya is always present in these sessions. So it's more in depth than the 30-minute one-on-one. And again, the fundamental, the kind of the foundation is to bring clarity. And not only that, but actually that there's something that shifts in your life to make the change happen, that an embodiment happens.
Awesome. Thank you. So that's package B. And then package C is everything in package B
Yeah,
plus
yeah.
um plus the Clear Your Path to Self-Love video series and journal. So I think there's 7 videos and a 30-page journal, right?
Right. So yeah, so each video varies in length. I want to say, 10 to maybe 30 minutes each. Each one is different. First one is really introducing Shmaya, and you did have a taste of Shmaya today. And if you could just flip up a little, the auric debris. So this is really working on your essence, your whole being. So each video will touch on these. Also, there will be clearing. So clearing the auric field, because our auric field does get a bit dirty when we go out there. So cleaning that up, really supporting the quieting the mental uh, chatter that we get very cluttered in our minds. So supporting the quieting of the mind, so your thoughts are serving you in a holistic way instead of a that you're in a maze and
Mm-hmm.
get confused. So, and yeah, the emotions, boy, our emotions are really up. Sadness, loneliness, anger, rage, abandonment. There's like so much out there. So this is to help release what is coming out perhaps or expressing not in a healthy way, but doing it in a healthy way where you're more imbalanced with emotions, and the emotions that are expressed are um, serving you in a different way, releasing in a safe way. And
Awesome. And then video 5.
and the fifth one, yeah, the physical body holds on to a lot of all of it, actually. To me, my body is my communicator. So this is, releasing any blockages that are being held within the body. Some might be fleeting, some might be chronic, but really working with the body as a sacred vessel.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And then video 6.
And the sixth is, gosh, settling into this one as you pull it up. It's the re-enlivening the truth of our spiritual connection, sacred unity. We are in such discord as humanity for eons and eons because of our disconnection from divinity, from God, source, again, whatever words you want to describe. So this is the allowance to really reside in the truth of sacred unity and being in the state of God.
And then
Um,
7.
yeah, the last piece talks about the journal that is part of this. And so it describes how to work with the journal. And then the next piece is the journal itself. And I believe it's 30 pages, excuse me, that there are self-inquiry questions. And I have found, the more you either listen or to the videos, put the practices, listening to the transmissions, that the self-inquiry questions are really changed because your state of consciousness and being and self-love itself begins to shift. So
And of
that
course, this is a digital journal, not a physical
it
journal that you're sending
is.
out to people.
It is. Yes. Yep.
Awesome. So that's package B, and that's 188, and the payment plan is available. And there's some wonderful testimonials and feedback from folks who have worked with JoAnne. So please do check those out. And again, the three packages, package A is a 30-minute one-on-one session, package B is a 70-minute one-on-one session, and then package C is the 70-minute plus the Clear Your Path to Love video series and journal. So there are payment plans available for packages B and C. And of course, if you're an Inner Circle member, please do use your gift code as well. Awesome. Thank you so much, JoAnne. I think this is going to be quite a transformational program for folks.
Beautiful.
Let me just come back to my screen here. Where was I? Awesome. So now I wanted to talk a little bit about your significance, because I know we haven't talked about that yet. So your significance is essential now, about embodying that truth. And change happens when we're, and you talked about this a little bit, change happens when we're willing to embody our awarenesses, what we're learning, the healings, the transformation, all of that, right?
Cheers. Yes. I am love. I am loving. I am lovable forever. Um, this is a big one. Awareness is significant in this process to realize your full presence here. Being aware, and then what you do with that awareness, and then how you practice that awareness, begin to weave it into your day-to-day life. And the more you do it, it then becomes embodied. In other words, it has really taken hold. Things are happening very quickly these days. So the time is actually on our side, even though there is no time, that there's a quickening. So when you get it to a state, and this is like the desire, the intention, the allowance, and the surrender, which is a big part of this. I'm going to use the phrase putting yourself first, not in a selfish way, but a self-loving way, which is really significant here. Can you get to a point to say, now is the time to make a change in how I'm engaging in life? And it's only you. You're the one that could do this. No one else. I could coach you. I could see the beauty in you. We could do all of this, but until you hear that inner yes, you may continue to engage in life the same way. And deny, actually, that's the word that's showing up, deny the truth of who you are and your true expression. To truly be in the state of complete and unconditional love and self-acceptance. So for you to shift, it's making that choice for yourself. Know that that's a gift not only for yourself, but also for humanity. If we are individuals connected into one cell, and we've all heard this in various ways, but when you embody this truth, that when you fully embody your truth, your significance, your voice, your presence, your importance, your gifts, that not only ripples through you in a grounded state, but you're also extending that out into the world, which rises the tide, which rises the level of consciousness. So my piece here would be focus on what is true to you, what is important, and not focus your attention on what you don't want. There's a big shift, because if you keep focusing on what you don't want, that's what you're going to continue to feed. Feeding your significance, there's a lot of nutrients in that state of being, in that state of presence. So I feel it's, again, quite important. And using the master observer in this process is, to me, again, is very key. The master observer begins to allow you like a spaciousness, which, like, what does that mean? Because when you're in the muck of things, in the triggers, in the distractions, hiding, no longer wanting to face your shadow, if you will, that is very contracted. You're holding yourself down, you're holding yourself back. When you pull out of that and become a master observer, this beautiful, and again, I experienced this, so that's why I'm sharing it. You begin to feel spacious and open. So your view of your inner world and outer world truly begins to expand. It's a beautiful gift. It's, the master observer, it's a sense of fasting. And what I mean by that is you're fasting from the insanity of the world. It's not, it's not serving you any longer, and you're eating the food, if you will, that's toxic. It's just toxic. So this is an offering where the fasting actually begins to nourish you, because you're no longer in the density, the unconscious, the anger, the suppression that has been your buffet. What I'm encouraging here is to be in that master observer with compassion and wisdom, allowing you to fast from what the world is trying to feed you, which is all fear-based, into a love-based presence. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm feeling all of this is significant. Any thoughts or questions from anyone?
I think iPad 20. Well, Stella seems like she has a question.
Hi, Stella.
Sorry, I had to run upstairs because the dog was barking like crazy. Turns out there was nobody upstairs, so he's all by himself. So I brought him down.
He wanted attention.
Yeah, I don't know what was barking at. He's here now. Hi, Stella. You have to unmute. Now you muted your video. Oh, there you go. Yep, you're there. I hear you. What happened? Did I lose you?
I think she, yeah.
I think we lost you. I think she probably hung up by accident.
But instead of hitting me unmute, she hit
Yeah.
end call or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, no worries. All right, does anybody have any questions for JoAnne about what we talked about, or is anything that has been going on for all of you at this time? Because I know it's such a difficult time right now, stressful at times, for sure. And there she is. She's back.
There she's back. Yes.
Okay. I went out of a commission. I don't know how to work these machines too well.
That's okay. You got back.
Well, what you're talking today is amazing, because I normally don't have time to really sit down and watch. I'm always busy doing. But what you're saying today makes it's like you're talking to me.
Mm.
It's like you are, because we do worry about everybody. We run for everybody. We don't take care of ourselves, so we don't do what we have to do. And what you said, I did the same thing you did years ago, because I'm a healer, and I used to get criticized all the time for what I tell people because they thought I was crazy.
Mm.
So I said, well, if you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. I cut it off. And now, and at this moment, I happen to be dating a guy that is 30 years younger than me. So you can imagine I've been criticized. Some of my friends think some of them had actually stopped talking to me because they think I'm insane.
Is this a new guy, Stella, or is this the guy that you're trying to get rid of for so long?
Oh my God, I finally got rid of it. You should have seen what happened yesterday. All three of them walk in my house. He doesn't know that I'm dating this guy, but this guy came in and he come in behind him. And when I see all three of them, I go, oh my gosh. I don't know if he knows, but I don't care. I don't know if he knows already that I'm dating this guy, but he's been very nice to the others. So I don't know. But
as long as you're happy,
I'm
that's all that
happy.
matters.
My family, my children, they are okay with it. They have met him and they are okay with it. So I'm happy. But it is very difficult, like she says, to stand in your grounds and to say, hey, I don't care what anybody says, it is my happiness. And I don't know how long, for a lifetime, I don't know, for tomorrow, for 1 week, I don't know. So far, it's been great.
It's just being in the energy of what is, right?
Yes. So, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that they don't dare to do things because they are scared of what other people are going to say or who's going to judge them. But, you have to do what you have to do. I mean, I didn't even get out of my house. This guy came to my home. When he came to fix my kitchen, and I'm going, wow, this is crazy. But I said, I'm gonna take the risk. So what do you think?
Is it a risk or is it just following your heart?
I'm following my heart.
Yeah.
I'm following my heart. I'm following my feeling. I'm feeling what I want. He makes me happy, and that's it. And I make him happy, and that's the main.
Yeah. JoAnne, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, what is showing up is that whatever the choice is, that it's true for yourself.
Right.
That there's a truth that you actually feel it in your body, that there's a truth to whatever the relationship is.
Right. I do. I feel like it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you say that, because a lot of girls are going, oh, he's going to take this. I say, what can he take? He can't take anything unless I give him money.
Don't give him any money, Stella.
I am not going to give him any. So, what is he taking?
The other piece of this is the word wise, to be wise around this as well.
Okay.
Yeah, to be wise.
Be wise, right. Right.
Not to act spontaneous necessarily.
Use
your discernment.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. Well, I just wanted to say thank you because it just came to my heart what you talk about today. I actually taper sometimes because I do the beautiful prayers that you said, and all that's very nice. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Stella.
Thank you.
And you're right. A lot of us, stop living our lives or following our heart or following our instincts or intuition because we're afraid of judgment. What will people say? What will people think? Or we go into fear, just thinking. Sometimes our mental chatter is just so much, and then we just go into fear and then we don't do anything.
Exactly.
Right.
We freeze. Or we
Yeah,
say,
we freeze.
we freeze,
Absolutely.
And I said, no, I'm following my heart and
Yeah.
I'm living it up.
Awesome.
You know, giving yourself space around this too is what's showing up. Not to make decisions quickly, stepping back, kind of if like something shows itself, like, oh, you want to do this or respond to it, give yourself some room, give yourself some space, kind of be with it on your own.
Right.
And see, like, I feel like the felt quality is really important for you. Even if
Yeah, I was
there's
gonna say
like a
feel into
little,
it.
yeah, like if there's even a little something off, then just kind of be with that, you know, kind of see how it unfolds and not to be the irrational mind.
Right. Exactly.
Is what I'm seeing and hearing.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. That
Yeah.
was wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Stella.
You're welcome.
Beautiful. And a lot of times, we do have to take that time to just think things through, just to be with certain situations. And our logical mind, may want to do one thing, but then our heart, if we tap into our heart, may choose something else, right? So it's really important to, again, just to be with the process, be with the situation, just be with the energies, feel into it, and then see what's right for you. I totally agree.
Yeah, giving space. I just keep hearing that for you. Giving yourself space, be spacious with it, giving yourself time, not jumping into anything. Just, yeah.
Yeah, and that's for a lot of situations,
Sure.
and a lot of decisions that we need to make and choices that we need to make, right? Be with it. There's usually nothing that we have to rush into, right? So we can be with it, we can feel it out, we can see how our body feels with it as well, right? So that's also key.
Yeah.
And being in the stillness of it, and then allowing it to come in and feeling that, being in the stillness and the space and feeling that, and then asking, is this really right for me or whatever, right? And then moving forward, seeing how things unfold. I always like to say, I wonder what will happen. So, like, I wonder how it's going to be, you know. So I'm open to it, but I'm willing to see how it's going to be. I'm going to feel into it, right? So yeah, thank you so much, Stella, for that. Yes, everyone, happy Easter. It's a Good Friday tomorrow, Easter weekend.
Yes.
So it's a very powerful time energy wise as well. A lot of things are up for a lot of people this weekend. So which means, you might be visiting with family, so you might get triggered by stuff, right? That's what happens when we see family a lot, right? It's like all our stuff comes up, right? So just be extra gentle, right? And just observe, right? So one of the things I really love is being able to observe the situation or people or how you're feeling, being in that state of observance and being willing to be aware of what is so important. Instead of just being in your head and thinking and figuring things out, just being with it um, is key. And just how can we just stay in a harmonious in a harmonious flow during the weekend, especially if you're seeing family. Is
Ditto.
important.
That's when the master observer will come in very handy.
Yeah, absolutely. So any last words of wisdom for us, JoAnne, from your Shmaya?
Yeah, well, let us just settle back in and just grateful for the time together. Thank you for all who were present. The invitation to be here. Notice how the body is feeling. And drink from the sacred cup, not only throughout today, but every day, that you are loved, you are loving, and you are lovable. This is extending blessings to you, extending blessings to your family, extending blessings to your friends, extending blessings to all of humanity. Amala o kosyumyana te koishpiana te kalai no pesera te shara ta Allah imiana te koisiti te sharaita. Allah, Allah, Allah. Allah, Allah, Amin, Amin. Love, love, everyone. And look forward to being and seeing with you again. And until then, love, love.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. This was such a expansive space that you created for us today, JoAnne. So thank you so much for that. I loved all the wisdom. I loved all the spaciousness and expansiveness of this conversation, and just the energies that were flowing throughout this whole conversation was like brought so much stillness and peace to all of us. So thank you. And thank you, everybody, for being here with us. Thank you for all your comments and feedback in the chat. And thank you for your questions, Stella. So appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to work with JoAnne, please do check out the special offer pages, a special offer page. There are 3 packages that are available for you. Gosh, what else? Today's Thursday. It's Easter weekend. There's no calls all weekend, except for those of you who are in the 21-day live group healings. We will be having calls. Other than that, I will see you all next week. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful, peace-filled weekend. Until next time, may you continue to be blessed with an abundance of joy, peace, love, happiness, prosperity, and radiant health. Sending you all so much love and blessings. Bye for now.
Be well, everyone. Love, love. Good to be with you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Have a great weekend, peaceful weekend. If you're traveling,
Enjoy.
safe travels. Bye,
Happy
everyone.
Easter to everybody.
Yes.
Thank you. Much love and blessings, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.